runaway, and you know, there are a lot of differences here, right? That Ja'Niyah's case can't be classified as a typical runaway case. That's the bottom line, right? And I think you and Mr. Collins and all the work that you've done and put out have really highlighted that. And you know, even if you just did a cursory review of this case on what's out there in the media right now, you know, Ja'Niyah did not run away. This is as close to a fact as possible. What we're typically seeing in the case of a runaway, we're still tracking active cell phones, active social media, especially at her age. Friend networks are still talking. Someone knows where a typical runaway is, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying that those cases are open and closed. They can present their own certain set of difficulties, right? And we do deal in runaway cases quite a bit. Excuse me, but this case bears nearly zero resemblance to a typical runaway case, and I'm sure you share that belief as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for weighing in and just sharing your perspective on the difference between Ja'Niyah's disappearance and, you know, I would say typical or most cases whereas teens have run away or left home voluntarily. I'd like to know your take on the Gary Police Department handling of Ja'Niyah's disappearance. I would say within the first 30 days of her disappearance, based on what you know.
You know, and I want to be frank, my knowledge is somewhat limited on the case, right? I've had a chance to review a lot of what you guys have put out, yourself as well as Mr. Collins, and the publicly available reports. You know, I always hesitate to cast judgment on investigative efforts because I know that there's a lot we don't know about who they've interviewed, when they've interviewed them, what evidence has been obtained or collected and analyzed. So it's very difficult to take a temperature of what a police department is or is not doing during an investigation like this. Now, there are certainly pieces to this that, you know, for instance, you interviewed Ja'Niyah's biological father.
Yes.
He has indicated confidently that there was a report to him from a public entity that there was some pretty serious sexual abuse that had taken place.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in light of that, you know, you start to look at the complexity of this case in layers, right?
Yes.
And that's certainly a layer that says to me, we are not going to know much about what police are doing and when during this case. Now, the concern I have that we talked about was searches, where these searches have and have not taken place. And if there was one thing that I would point out as an area of concern with what's happened is more of what has not happened, right? That you know, you're saying, and I take you at your word for it, that there are areas in the immediate vicinity of the residence Ja'Niyah was staying at with her mother that have not been searched, and that's certainly a problem.
Yes, absolutely, and I would agree with you on that sentiment.